10 years on since you and Andrew helped expose and uncover and break down Acorn, which was the radical leftist network that in many ways created voter fraud. And given the expanse of voter fraud in this past midterm election, was the work that you and Andrew Breitbart did bringing down Acorn prophetic?
Well, I think it was, Andrew called it the Abu Ghraib of the Great Society, this group that was doing shenanigans and showing unethical behavior, soullessness really, helping declare child prostitutes as dependents on the 1099s, and that was the genesis of Veritas, of going into these organizations. And Congress defunded Acorn, President Obama signed legislation, but Andrew Breitbart taught me that it really is about getting yourself into the New York Times. It's about getting covered by the mainstream media. It's about forcing them to cover the work, getting outside the echo chamber. So there really is nobody like the way that he was, but we try at Veritas to break these stories that force media to cover it, that force reactions, and that's sort of what Andrew taught me.
You knew him very well, and so you know just about better than anyone else. His true legacy was citizen journalism, as you just discussed. Where are we in the state of citizen journalism with the tech company blacklisting? Many citizen journalists are citizens. They rely heavily on social media to get the word out, to get the truth out. Where are we? Do you have any advice for the war and the battles that we're in?
I think I do have advice. I mean, I'm here at Turning Points to try to recruit people. There's thousands of people here, and there may be a few or a dozen with the will to do something about it. But you can't be silenced into submission. You have to keep fighting. You have to have the courage to continue. And I think one of the things that we've done is go undercover into Twitter.
Okay.
I mean, and we're going to go after the other companies as well. And my philosophy is if you want to ban people for their views, just be honest about it. So we're trying to capture these engineers and executives on tape admitting why they're removing people from the platform. Citizen journalism, I think it's necessary. I think that it's become the journalism. It's no longer citizen journalism. We are the journalists. I believe that journalism is an activity, not an identity. And I think Breitbart gave people inspiration. I mean, he would bring out the best in you. He once said to me, "James, you're like the Incredibles. You've got this inner force, this inner spirit, and you grab onto it and be who you were meant to be." And a lot of people are just afraid. They're afraid of getting banned. They're afraid of getting shadow banned. And I say, just keep going, keep doing what you're doing.
You've taken on the Washington Post. You've taken on CNN. I mean, these are some of the most watched, most influential media platforms in the world. Do you think that there's a responsibility, say, of the Trump administration or Congress, because the real issue here does seem to be transparency.
Right.
The rules that they create, they don't have to answer to them. What maybe do you want to see out of the administration?
I think that if people know what's going on, if people know the facts, then things tend to work themselves out. I call Project Veritas, what we are is the custodians of conscience. We test and affirm what is and what is not an outrage to the people, even on the left. I mean, the things that the CNN guy we caught saying, he said the Russia story is BS. He said Van Jones said it was a nothing burger.
Right.
But they only say that in private, not in front of their audience. So we try to reduce the gap between what people say in private versus what they say in public. And I think that we just have to keep going after the sacred cows. CNN, New York Times, Washington Post, the big media, I call it the Pravda. And Andrew loved when we went after NPR. We did this undercover video into NPR. The CEO of NPR resigned. So, I mean, we got to go after these organizations. We got to expose them. And I think the truth will set people free. But the only people who are going to do it are the citizens. And that's why I'm here to recruit people to work for Veritas, to go in with the camera. Some of them already have access. They already are on the inside. And that's what we're here to do, is to recruit those people.